What's going on, Knightamaniacs? Alright, today I figured I'd do something a little different. Today I figured I'd make a video about a journey I'd just taken with Pure Fandom, and from creating this in my mind to getting a physical thing right here. So, see you in the next clip. So this is the artwork stage. So it kind of started out with this. This was the artwork that was supplied to me by Demand Lucha. And as you can see up top, it says Lucha Tio. That's because that was their original name before they rebranded to Demand Lucha. But this was the artwork they had. Now, they had a couple banners that had almost like a Vegas big gold with this image on the main plate. And I really liked it a lot, but it was only on a banner. And I was wondering why their championship belts never matched any of their artwork. So I kind of came in and I was like, all right, what can I do with this where I can kind of give it that big gold feel without exactly ripping off a big gold? So I went looking for belt designs online, and I found the UFC, the old UFC championship, and really liked the design of the main plate. So I kind of started working with stuff, and then afterwards, and then I came up with this. So as you can see, it has like the shape and the work, the main plate of that old school UFC main plate. But then I threw in a couple of my own extra touches. I added like more floral calligraphy going around in the background, more similar to like the original big gold, the crumb rind. And then I threw in the Demand Lucha artwork with the new Demand Lucha logo up top, and was like, okay, this works. So from there, I had to start working on side plates, and this was the idea I had for side plates, which were these ones right here. It's the same thing. Do the floral calligraphy in the background, and then throw their custom artwork on top of it. And I went with the flags, because I kind of liked the look of the flags. Kind of has that old Reggie Parks look to it. Threw in the Demand Lucha logo. So this is kind of where I got. That's the next side plates there, the Mexico and Japan flag. Same thing with the Demand Lucha skull on the back, on top with the floral in the background. And then when that was completed, this is what I got, which I thought looked really, really good. Now, obviously, this was the original template. I since then switched, and we went with the artwork you just saw. But I kind of went with that. I was like, okay, cool. So I sent that into Demand Lucha and see what their thoughts were. And their thoughts were they liked it so much that they got a belt made because of it. And that was the belt they got made. Let me get rid of this little window at the bottom. Sorry about that. That was the championship belt they got made. Very similar to my design. There's a few little differences, like they got rid of some of the detail on the face. And they added the color with the red stripes going around the side plate edges and the main plate. So I was like, okay, so that's kind of what I'm working with. I want to copy this belt with my artwork. And so that's what I did. And then I got Hamza Ali from Jack Championship Belts. Got him to commission my master plates, which he did a fantastic job on it. And then that's where you just saw or you will see in the next video with the master plates and the molding setup. So I feel like I should give you guys a little kind of tutorial on why I went this route. So this route right here, what I've done is this is our master plate we were working with, the Demand Lucha Premier Championship. I got this one commissioned by a belt maker who did a really, really good job. Jack Championship Belts. I went through Hamza Ali. He did a really good job. This is the first time ever working with him, and I definitely cannot wait till working with him again. But this is kind of what I started with. So this is my master plates. I don't have the side plates on hand, but these are the other side plates and belt tip that I'd be using. So what I did before I could make my mold is I made walls going around. I try to leave about 1.5 inches distance between the edge of the plate and the start of the wall. And so what this will do is when I pour in my silicone, it will make sure nothing kind of bleeds out on the sides, which you'll see in the next video. But I had to build these walls up so I could fill up the silicone and capture all the detail. And then I had to also seal all the walls. I used hot glue, and I sealed all the seams to make sure that none of the silicone would fall out. But that's what the I made a second round just in case I needed to redo the molds, but I was very fortunate and I did not have to. So I'm just kind of left with this. But this is actually great for this video because it kind of shows you what you need to do before you can start pouring and mixing your silicone.
It is easy peasy. And then, yeah, we would just do the same here. And I'm going to put it.
So you build up the molds. This is just like, you build this all the way around, and then you're going to pour in like a... Silicone. Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
So that the silicone would be the mold.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we're just building like the plate right now where we can like actually like get it in. Like that. And then we don't have like a release on it or anything. So you can just kind of paint that in. If it wasn't this detailed, you could literally just pour it. I just want to make sure you get everything.
Alright, so last time you saw us, we were just finishing pouring these plates here with the silicone. We did the side plates, we did the tag team main plate, and then we did the smaller set of side plates as well. Last time, the very first time when we started taking the videos, we poured this piece, which is the main plate, and this is how it came out. You can see it really captured a lot of that detail. We didn't use the best quality silicone for this, so I don't know how long this mold's going to last for, but we'll see. It did pick up a lot of the intricate line work. Everything's really clean for the most part. The edges kind of ripped when we pulled it out because, like I said, the silicone's a little weak. But yeah, that's kind of what we got. I'll also show you guys the attempt of the side plates. The side plates kind of came out okay. Let me put this one down. Side plates over here kind of came out really nice, but you'll see some of these white areas on it. That area, so every video I've ever seen of people using smooth-on products, they always say to scrape the bottom of the bottle, shake it well, stir it, mix it, and get everything out, and make sure you get like your full amounts out. So that's what I did with this. There was these kind of white clumps at the bottom of my part A and part B, and I scraped them out and I mixed them. When I went to go pour, it was just blue like this. Kind of like this side. That's all I saw. But then when I pulled it, I saw these little white marks. Now, thankfully, these white marks aren't impressions. They haven't messed up any of the line work. It looks like it sits in right under our right on top of our brush coat. Because we brush coated everything to make sure we captured all the detail inside. And then we backfilled it with silicone on top of that, because silicone sticks to silicone. So that's kind of nice. So we could even, like, if we find these to be too thin, in theory, we could just rebuild the walls and pour more of the silicone, and it will be fine. I think we're okay, though. These are pretty solid. But, yeah, so this is what we got. We had another side plate, but we got the wrong side plate, so I'm not going to show that one on camera yet. But this is kind of what we started with. And so yeah, now we have the other side plates and the tag team main plate to start pulling out. So let's go do that right now. And this is the detail I pulled out on these molds. So this was a smaller pint kit, but I ran out of silicone. So that's why you'll see blue and yellow. The blue is a smooth-on mold star kit, and the yellow is an Elcom 4420 silicone kit. But both of them pulled out the details super well. Now, for this one and the North America, South America plate, they both have this kind of white stuff. The white stuff as far as I know, won't affect the cast. But just in case, I also caught it in the better silicone. So in case there isn't some kind of issues with this one, we have a backup. But yeah, this is how everything came up. Here's the little smaller side plates with the Demand Lucha skull. I got 4 molds. Ba-ba. As you can tell, the silicone really captured all the detail. The tag team plate, like, really, really, really good. There's the tag team plate next to it. And then we got our Asia, Australia globe plate. Alright, just finished pouring the first batch. A little bit of overflow over here and in this corner. The main plate's looking pretty good though. And the tag team main plates also. There's a little bit of overpour, but nothing horrible. So my next step to do with these is these are completely flat. So I have a mannequin. I'm going to put a piece of silicone down to cover the resin that just got poured. I'm going to wait till it's a little bit drier, and then I'm going to curve the plates around the body of the mannequin using E-tape to hold it down. I will try to take some video of this. It's going to be hard because this is a one-man project, and I have no one to help me with filming, so we'll do my best. But if not, I figured I'd let you guys know what we're doing. Alright, so we've started the process now of curving the main plates. And using a mannequin body right now to kind of get the perfect curve. And as you can see, let me stand this up. Ugh. It goes all the way around. Now you're probably wondering, what is that red thing behind my mold? That's just a piece of silicone so the resin doesn't get stuck to the material on my mannequin body. Some kind of velvet-like material, faux suede. But that's why I have this red piece of silicone mat on there, so if the resin is still sticky and it wants to stick to something, it can try to stick to the silicone, which usually doesn't happen. So a little extra protection, but that's that. Let me pause. And then unfortunately, I wish I had 2 mannequin bodies. I'm using a bucket on this one. I'm not sure what the curve's going to be like on this because the bucket is more narrow, but same thing. I have a little cutting board behind there just in case the resin tries to stick to anything. It can stick to that instead of the bucket. But they are wrapped all the way around, and that's currently where we're at with the plates. Alright, now we're back and we're going to cut this off and see if the curve held. Let me pause this. Alright, so I just cut off that. You can see this side is still down. So I'm going to pull the tape back. 1 layer. 2 layers. 3 layers. There you go. You can see how it's a bit of a curve going on here. Probably get it off that, but no resin on the silicone. Now let's go see this mold. Real time. All right. Let's see if I can put this down right here. And this is what we're looking like. So here's our mold now. As you remembered before, when I poured it on, I brushed this all gold. And that's the color of the regular silicone. And the gold powder got fused to the resin. As you can tell, I got some areas to clean up over here. But I am happy because it caught the entire impression of the plates. So there we go. And here we go. We got 3 plates done. Well, 3 main plates done. And we got a bunch of side plates. So we technically have enough side plates for 1 and 2. And then this one over here, I'm literally just short 1 side plate. But those are all my side plates. Not bad for a 2-pint kit. And this is what we have now after demolding. And the tag teams. And all the plates curved.
That's the other side of my crib. They planted orders. Imagine if he had put that big ring to good use. Try and change. How much use am I get to it? Focus on our side, find until we do our side chemicals. After that. What about you? How you doing? I'll fill you in sometime over a drink. Where are we now? Friends? Lies to me. It's just a drink. I'll get to it later.
So what are you talking about?
Fuck that. Can't be worse than that.
I'll take it. Mama. This is Dennis Williams. He's the owner. Wonderful place you have here.
Been in my family.
So then when I got to the strap making process, I had to make strap templates to cut out for the vinyl. just to make sure everything was uniform and even when it became to mass producing these, or I guess mass producing these on an independent DIY level. But these are the templates I got right here. So this black and white one here is for the Premier Championship, and then the one up top is for the Tag Team Championship. So when it came to the Premier Championship, the black and white one at the bottom, I had to kind of eyeball that one out. What I did is I used the mold, the main plate mold, because it was already kind of in the shape I wanted, and I put it down on this kind of this styrofoam craft board, and I put it down, I traced it out, then I grabbed an existing championship replica that I had in my collection, which is actually this one over here. This Premier Replica Belts World Heavyweight Championship, and I used the side plates as my extender and kind of cut the rest out. And then what I did with the Tag Team Championship was I had a bootleg NXT 2.0 Championship, which actually had the same strap cut as the Tag Team Championships. So I kind of used that as my template, and I cut off. It's a much smaller template, only because when I get to this part, I'm just going to lay it over top of it and then continue the straps that way. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea how I got my strap templates. So that's how I did them, and then I just traced these out on vinyl. Alright, so I figured I'd take a video of the strap. Now, bear in mind, I've never made a strap before. So I'm just kind of freeballing it. I made a template. That's my template up there. But again, I kind of just eyeballed it out to the best of my ability. It does fit the plates properly, but the shape of the strap is not the most beautiful. I'll see if I can try to fix it somehow, but that might be the best we're getting. But this is what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm tracing out some more with my template on some vinyl fabric. And then when it's all done, that's how it's supposed to look. Again, not the most flattering strap, but better than nothing, I guess. It works. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys a little quick process of me making the straps. And we got fuzzy camera all day. I hate the fuzzy camera. Alright. Everything's been drilled out now. Alright, so I figured I'd show you guys what I'm doing here now that I have one out of the way. So I'm putting the straps on. Now these are the second run of the plates I did. Here, let me turn this around so you can actually see it better. This is the second round I used, so this is with the Smooth On Task 2. This stuff came out better. Plates are a lot more harder. Still kind of flexible, but not a whole lot of flex. Definitely not as soft to the touch. A lot easier to paint. But what came into problems was when I did with the 60D, when I put those plates on the straps. It's because they were so malleable, I was able to push down on the plates to flatten them, to line up all the holes with the strap. Now, obviously, with curved plates like these ones are, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but yeah, as you can tell, there's a curve on the plates, or at least on the main plate. And because of that, it's harder with a harder plastic to mount the strap on. So what I decided to do was, let me move this out of the way, is I took this mannequin body I have. I've had this for a long time, and right now I haven't been using it for anything, so I needed something to curve, and this is what I originally used to curve the plates for the Task 2 after they were cured, after the 1 hour part of the cure. I bent them over this body, and this is how I got the curve. So I'm actually using the body again to support the curve while I put the plates on, and I wanted to show you how I do it. So we have our next plate ready to go. Just want to make sure everything is as centered as best as possible in the middle. Now what I do is, unfortunately, I got to ruin the mannequin. There's nice material on it because I'm going to poke him with this little nail. And this is how I get to line up my holes. So I go in, poke the first hole right there. Second hole, boom. And then what I do is I take it off. And I have my 2 registration holes now on the strap. You're probably not going to see this on the camera, but I'll try to get it as close. There you go. You do see it on the camera. These little 2 holes right here are my registration marks. And then from here, I use my leather punch. Now, I do have one that doesn't require the squeeze punch. But because this is really thin and I wanted something quick, I'm going to use this instead of the little hammer version one. So I just go in here now. I set my bit. Let's see where I am on the camera. There we go. I set my bit to approximately the same size of the rivets I'm using. And then I just go in here. I line everything back up. Sometimes you'll have to bunch up the strap. That's why this is only optimal on vinyl. It works on leather too, absolutely. But to do a leather championship belt strap, it's a little harder because see how flexible this is? It's easier to get into these registration marks. Can't do that so much with leather when you got to go in the middle of the plate. Like you only get about this much gap to go in, right? So with vinyl, it's easy because you can bunch it all up and fold it to get to it. But with leather, it's a lot thicker and heavier, so it's harder to go through. Anyways, from there, I take my rivets and I line up my rivets into my registration marks. And then I run my plates over it the same way. So boom, pop the first one in just to kind of hold it in place. Right? Now these still got to be squeezed down tighter afterwards, but I'm using them in just in case I need to take them off so I don't waste the rivet. Then I go in on this side, same thing, find that hole, run the hole through the plate. Voila. And now it's easier for me to go around this whole belt because now what I can do, and what I was doing was I was stretching the strap around the mannequin to get it as flush to the plate as possible, and then popping in, again, going in with my little nail punch and just punching in all my little registration marks. So I'm going to do all this off camera, but I wanted to show you guys how I was doing this, just to kind of give you an idea in case someone's like, hey, how did you get the strap to sit as flush as possible? Now, mind you, this is still my first time doing it, so the strap is not completely as flush as I would like to be. This is the back side of it. But I'm learning. I'm still learning how to do this, and it's honestly not terrible. So yeah. So I'm going to do the rest of this off camera, and I'll show you guys when I come back. Maybe I'll try to take one of the side plates if I remember. If not, I'll just show you what everything looks like when it's all done, because I'm almost there. But yeah, this is how I put the strap on a curved, hard plastic main plate. All right. Last step is getting the plates, the side plates on the strap. So this is kind of how I'm doing it. Again, I'm just eyeballing it, but I'm trying to make sure that the strap lines kind of line up. Make sure the plates aren't crooked as best as possible. And then because these holes are thicker than these ones, these were the original test plates. I drilled these out with a bigger drill bit to realize that I didn't need to do it that wide. But anyways, it helps for this process because I'm going to take this Sharpie, and even though it's a black strap, you'll see the shine from the marker on the strap when I pull it off. So here, let me see if I can show you. You kind of see, I step out of the light, and you can kind of see a little glaring over here. So anyways, I do the same thing as I did earlier, is I pull out this little punch tool, and I come in here, line up my pilot holes, boom, that one's in. also in. Another one, and last but not least, where's that mark? It's right there. All right. So I do the same thing I was doing earlier. Take my rivets now, and then just feed them through. You want to put the male side on the bottom, the female side on top, so there we go. Another one. All right, cool. So we got all four in. Now I take my plates and I line them up with the posts. There we go. So you can see all my male ends are out. Now I'm going to grab the caps, which are referred to as the female ends. Go through here and do the same as I was doing earlier. Just push them in. Push them in. There we go. And now, just to solidify it again, I'm not using a hammer. A hammer would probably be the better tool so you don't get them all pinched like I have. But at the same time, this is quicker. I'm doing a bunch at a time and I really don't care what the rivets look like. So going forward, that might be something I want to change. There you go. I just kind of crimp it down. Pushes the rivet all the way into each other and make sure that that never comes off. Sometimes with hammering, I find you don't get it all the way. It sounds like you do, but then later on, you go to like mess around with it and it comes off. But this I find it's a little bit more permanent because you're squeezing them together. There you go. And voila! Now we have a side plate on. So again, I'm going to do this all off camera. And then when it's all done, when the last belt's done, I'll show a little thing of all the belts I've done. I'll even show the closure, how I did the closure on the back. And yeah, that's about it. All right, everything's put together and assembled. And it's the best it's going to get, I guess. There is one of the plates that was done with the 60D. It's a little warped just from the heat. That's why I switched over from the 60D to the Task 2 from Smooth On. But this is what we've completed. These are all 5 belts fully done. There's that warped main plate up there. Very sad looking. But I also put Velcro on the ends for the closer. It's industrial grade stuff. It's just like some random scraps I found lying around my house. I must have had from an old job site. And yeah, just applied them on there and we have fully functional belts. So there you go, start to finish, what it's like to make a championship all in your house. with no crazy materials other than the supplies needed. No machinery, no nothing. The only thing you would, I guess, need machinery for is the master plate, whether you 3D print it or get a belt maker to do the master plates or carve it out of clay or however you want to do it. But this is how you can literally run your own little production in your house. And there you go.